Hello everyone, welcome to today's edition of Wedding Girl Talk Live. As you may know, my name is Lola Akingbade and I'm so excited that you have joined me today. On this episode, we're going to be discussing our global pandemic, COVID-19, and your wedding guest count. But before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and sanitize my hands since we're talking about COVID-19, guys. It's very important for you to sanitize, okay? Stay clean, stay disinfected. And I'm also going to wear a mask from one of our weddings this year. Shout out to BAK Forever. I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna wear it throughout this video. I just wanted to make you guys laugh. I know there's a lot going on, but we have to find a way to just cheer ourselves up, okay guys? I'm giving you all virtual hugs if you're having to deal with the whole pandemic and your wedding is coming up pretty soon. So there's a lot of things that you have to consider if your wedding is coming up within a month, like before the end of 2020, right? If you have your wedding planned, you might need to think about some changes, especially if you're on this side of the world, in the US or in Europe. There have been some recent shutdowns or more like scale backs with the whole pandemic. At least in the Maryland, DC, Virginia area, which is where I am based, we have, some counties, some cities have switched back to phase 1. Some are only allowing about 25 guests to gather, some 50. It varies depending on the state or the city that you're in. So wherever you are, the first thing you want to do if your wedding is coming up before the end of this year or even into first quarter of next year is to currently look at what is going on in your city or state. Figure out what the numbers are right now. How many people are being allowed? Ask your wedding planner if you have one. If you don't have one, find out what your city or state is saying, or find out what your venue is saying, because venues mostly have most of the up-to-date information as to what they can or cannot allow. So you definitely want to start there. Figure out how many people can you safely have and legally have at your wedding. Once you have figured this out, now it's that time for you to decide if you want to move forward with the wedding or if you want to postpone the wedding, because you can't imagine having a wedding of only 25 people. If you're one of those people, it's fine. Go ahead and move it if you have to. But if you're going to go ahead with the option of the micro intimate wedding, then you might need to reduce your guest count, especially if you were planning for 100, 300, however many people you were planning on having. You might have to scale back. So I've gotten some questions recently on how do I actually cut back my guest list? What should I do? Who should I consider? Who should I cut off? Now, the first thing is that number that your state or your city is allowing probably includes vendors, right? Any vendor that's going to be in the room with you all, you might need to consider if you need that vendor there. So no, guys, you want to look at who are my important vendors, who are the must-have vendors. You need your DJ there, you need your wedding planner there. Now, if you're considering having like a 10-piece band, you might want to cut that out, okay? Because those 10 people are taking the spots of potential guests, family, close friends that you could possibly be having at the wedding. Except if maybe music is very important to you and you can't imagine yourself getting married without that 10-piece band, then okay, fine, we get it, we understand. Go ahead and have it. But if you can do without, you might want to cut back on that and try to minimize the number of vendors you have so that you can have spots for your other family and your friends. The next step you want to take is to think about who are my closest family and friends. Who are those people in my life that I cannot imagine getting married without being there in the room next to me? Now write that list down and be very true and honest to yourself. Who are these people? If there are people on there you haven't spoken to in like a year or more, you might want to consider taking them off the list. Yeah, you might want to do that. Because they could actually attend virtually. You can actually create a virtual experience for people who may not be physically in the room. People who might have issues like diabetes or any other pre-existing conditions, you might not want to invite them to the wedding. You might also want to, offer a different option to people like the older people in your homes, your grandpa, your grandma, any older aunt or uncle. You might want to give them the option of attending virtually because you don't want to expose them to the risk of contracting the virus at their older age, right? And even those people who you consider to be your closest family, your siblings, your closest friends who are going to be part of that small number of people that you're inviting, you also want to actually give them the option to attend virtually, because some people may not be comfortable coming out to attend your wedding in person. So you want to give them that option to also attend virtually. Now, I know that there's been some discussion with some of my couples. They've said, maybe I can go ahead and have this ceremony with my closest family and friends, and then we'll have a separate reception where it's a different set of people who would attend. So that way I have some people at the ceremony who can attend that, and then some people will also get the option of attending the reception. You can do that if you want, just to maximize number of people that you're having at your wedding. Some people have also opted not to have to bother sending 2 sets of invitations to separate people. But if you feel like it's something that could work for you, definitely go ahead and do that. Another thing that you might want to consider is eliminating plus ones. I know it might sound very cold and mean, but if you only allow 25 guests, you might want to ask some of your closest friends not to bring their plus ones. Their plus ones can attend virtually. So once you have cut back your guest list and now you have your 25 guests, another thing that you can do is actually have a few people that are on standby, right? Because if closer to your wedding, like a week or 2 weeks to your wedding, the laws change according to your city or state, and now you can invite some more people. So let's say as of today it's 25 people, and by the next month or so, right before your wedding, it goes up to an additional 25 people, so you can now have 50 people. You can make that decision at that time to invite a few more people. So you can have a few people that are going to be on your standby list just in case the cases reduce and the cities are allowing more people to gather together. But at that point, if it's so close to the wedding, you have to make a whole bunch of changes, which includes increasing the food, increasing your decoration, increasing your chairs and tables and things like that. So you have to also be prepared for such things, right, as far as your budget goes. But it is an opportunity for you to add additional guests to your wedding. So if you're that bride or groom that's getting married within Q1 or Q2 of next year, you might want to wait a little bit before making the decision to go ahead and move your wedding or to cancel your wedding altogether. Wait till the first couple weeks in January. Have a deadline. Just the key thing is to have a plan. Have a deadline in sometime around the first couple weeks in January, and evaluate what is going on. By then we would have gone through over a month of the surges and the spikes, and see if the cases are getting better, see if there's any more information about the vaccine and all of that good stuff. And if it still looks like the cases are going up and doesn't look like it's getting better, then you can make a better decision then as to either to move your wedding or have an intimate wedding at that point. Now, guys, whatever you choose to do with your wedding, as far as proceeding right now with your wedding or postponing the wedding, we want you to have the wedding of your dreams. We want you to have a very beautiful, special, and memorable day. So make sure that you still have that, regardless of if it's going to be a big wedding or if it's going to be an intimate wedding. So that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and you click the thumbs up button and you click on the notification bell so that you can get notified when I drop new videos. Thank you so much for watching.